there. Uh, it's been a while. I just wanted to talk to you and tell you a couple of things that they have been at the back of my mind lately, and I just decided that it's time for you to know about them. So, you were my first friend. You eventually became one of my best friends. But you were the first person that I ever established a friendship with. I remember that day. We were in kindergarten and it was, playtime, and you just walked up to me and asked me, "Hey, do you want to be my friend?" And I looked at you and I said, "Yeah." And so ever since that day we played together. We were spies, we were princesses, we were warriors, we were everything we could have ever think of. We were that, and much more. And years passed, we made new friends, and we became 5 best friends. And because of the fact that you were my first friend, you have always had a special place in my heart. And even though I said that, I know you don't feel the same way. I know you stopped to care. I know that it's good to make new friends. I'm not jealous. I'm okay. I mean, yeah, you make new friends and you started to hang out with them. That's okay, that's fine with me. But then you became distant. You were one of the people that I would talk to the most, and suddenly it was rare when we talked. Or when we had a conversation that didn't end up with the usual, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. What about you? Oh, nothing." You were my first and most important friend. And it was like our friendship was this bubble. This crystal bubble. And every year, every day, every second, I try to polish that bubble and make it look beautiful and sparkling. And I just wanted that bubble to be beautiful as our friendship was. But one day, that bubble started to look ugly. It started to get dirty. And it didn't matter how many times I would clean it, I would polish it, that dirt will stay there. And so I ignored it and I moved on. But I still try to clean that bubble every day. And I did everything I could think of to make our friendship be the way it has always been, because a part of me knew that we were drifting apart, and I was trying so hard not to let it happen. And so I took care of this bubble as much as I could, but it just kept getting dirty. And there was nothing I can do. It just got dirtier and uglier, and it didn't matter how much care I gave to that bubble. It just got worse every time. But one day I realized why that was happening to our bubble. It was the day we finally graduated from high school. We were, celebrating, we were laughing, and some were crying, and, we were all gathered in this place at the school, and I was so happy that I finally graduated. I was so happy that that period of my life was over. But at the same time, I was sad. because I knew all the things that graduating meant. I knew all the things that would change, all the faces that I would stop seeing, all the faces that I would miss. And so I was crying. And then I thought about you. And I decided to look for you. So I found you. And, I was crying and I saw you and I said, I can't believe it's been 14 years. 14 years since our friendship started, basically. So I told you, yeah, I can't believe 14 years have happened. And I hugged you. But you barely hugged me back. You did it just because you had to. And you say, yeah. Like, oh yeah, 14 years, yeah. And then you walked away. And in that moment, I knew that you were the one making the bubble go dirty. And in that moment, our bubble cracked. It didn't shatter. It had cracks on it. It was still a full bubble with cracks. And I just stood there. And I was thinking of all those 14 years and how things changed and how we eventually drifted apart. But I thought that wasn't a problem because we were still friends. And then I looked at you and you were with your new friends. And you were crying with them and you were hugging them and you were laughing and jumping, and I felt jealous. And that's a hard thing for me to say. I felt jealous because you weren't acting that way with me. With the girl that is supposed to know you for the first 14 years of you. For 14 years. You were acting that way with people that you've met just, a year ago? And it hurt. But like I said, the bubble didn't shatter that day. A couple of days later, I had this dinner with my friends. And it was the last time that I was going to see them. And you know that. I invited you. And I invited a lot of people. More than 20. Eventually, less than 10, including me, showed up. It hurt. Because I thought that, those people were my friends. But no one replied. Except for you. You did reply. The day of the dinner. While I was at the dinner. And you told me that you couldn't go. It shocked me. And then you said that you couldn't go because your parents couldn't take you to the restaurant. If the situation was inverted and you were the one friend that I had no idea if I was going to see her again, I would have walked to the restaurant. I would have moved heaven and earth just to see you one last time. Because of those 14 years of friendship, I would have done that 100 times. I would have asked someone to give me a ride. I would have done anything. I would have called a taxi or whatever. I would have tried. But you didn't. You just said that your parents couldn't take you and that you were so sorry. And then more cracks appear in the bubble. But you know when it shattered? When a couple of days later, you went to one of your new friends' goodbye party. And I saw the pictures. And I saw the videos. And you and her other friends did like this gift for her, and you cried and you dedicated this message to her, and shattered. I shattered because it felt like those 14 years didn't matter. It felt like I had been replaced with someone that you barely knew. And then I understood that it doesn't matter for how long you know your friends. Because I discovered that my true best friends are ones that I met 3, 4, 5 years ago. Maybe 6 or more. Not 13 for sure. And then I left. And we never talked ever again. And when I had to buy a new phone, I was deciding whether or not I should give you my new number, because I didn't want to have those awkward conversations with you that would just end at, oh, nothing, and what about you? I didn't want to have that type of conversation with you. And so I questioned myself, should I give you my new phone number, letting you know that I'm still here and the bubble, even though it's cracked, is still there. The pieces are still there. Or should I just not do that? Should I just not give you my new phone number and see what happens? And so I did that. I didn't give you my new phone number. And sometimes I turn on my old phone because, I don't know, there's something that I need that's in there. And I check my messages. But you don't even write. You haven't even texted me to that number. And it's been half a year. And the pieces of the bubble were gone. It sucks to see friendships ending this way. But you hurt me. And I wanted to let you know that. You hurt me, and I don't think there's ever going to be a way that you can fix it. Because we did so many things together, but at the end of the day, you just couldn't go. You just didn't want to see me for the last time as strong as I wanted to see you for the last time. I'm sorry that it ended up this way.